curbs here, since they repaved this place, have become really aggressive, and they really shock the race car when you hit them. That's one of the risks of using too much curb, is these cars are still pretty delicate race cars. They may be 3,400-pound behemoths, but they don't like getting into those curves too hard, and that's what can happen, similar to happen to Alex Lebet.
Here's the pass for the lead as Zilich and Shane Van Gisbergen continue to pass it back and forth. That was weird for all of us watching.
Yeah, he let him go there. Not sure why. Do we have any radio on that?
What's up with that pass, Kim?
Yeah, we do have some radio. Take a listen to what Shane said about the car.
Yeah, I don't think I drove it harder and the rears just burned off it. I think the balance is better, but the rears just died, so might have to take that back out.
So you heard him talk about the rears dying out this run. They'll look to make it better in the right-handers. And then, I wouldn't say he was frustrated after that, but he did ask his team more than once, 2 or 3 times, what is our tire pressure compared to the 88? He again asked multiple times. He finally got an answer. Corey Shea telling him very similar, but we're about 1 pound less in the left rear.
Well, that shows you his feel, because I believe, David, earlier in the race, you mentioned how he felt like the left rear was low on air pressure to start the race. He knew that. He's obviously compared to the 88, and that's one thing you'll talk about with a stock car on a road course, especially these Xfinity Series cars, is keeping the rear tires on them. That's where you start to lose drive off, you lose speed, you lose the ability to put the throttle down. The car doesn't want to change direction as well, and it's just that speed. Longevity on a road course in terms of speed in a stock car is all about keeping the rear tires on.
I find it interesting that he is asking about the setup changes. So there are really 2 different kinds of drivers. You have a guy that doesn't know anything about the race car and is just going to give the team feedback and let the team make their decisions. But Shane, after talking to him and listening to him, he's definitely the guy that's more in tune with what's going on. He's asking what they're doing to the car, and he clearly knows a thing or two about getting the car dialed in, and he provides really good feedback for that.
Which one did you say you are?
I am hands-off.
All right.
I put all of the trust in my team, let them make the decisions, and I'll tell them what I'm feeling.
Well, your guy on the pit box, he's got a decent track record.
Pretty smart. Yeah, I've seen him win a fair amount of races.
We're right there with Sheldon Creed. We're 5 laps to go on the stage. So we've reached that window where drivers could make a pit stop to flip it. Now, the one thing I'll say, you flip stage 2, you're right on the edge of that fuel window. So some question marks of who will run it long, who will flip it, but some stage points out there to be had, and that's why I referenced Sheldon Creed when I said that. Toyota onboard camera riding with the rookie Dean Thompson.
And it does put you in a really tight position if you do flip this stage, and I'm just sort of looking at where Zilich and Van Gisbergen are compared to the rest of the field. If they get as large a gap as they had in the first stage, they're able to pit and basically come out in 9th and 11th. And not, have given up too much track position whatsoever. So I wonder, if that was a possibility here, but I think when you look at the fuel situation, to make sure, you probably want to go to stage 2.
When you talk about flipping it and needing cautions in the final stage to get home on fuel, this race doesn't feel like you're going to get caught, right?
Thinking
that could be the kiss of death. Hey, Will Rogers in the race, driving the 70 for Cope Family Racing. He won an ARCA West race here a few years ago, making his first start of the season. He's a spotter for Eric Jones on Sundays. Eric is helping spot for him today.
That's cool.
So a role reversal for these two. And I would also say the West Coast Conference is on this car along with Refology. And this is a good organization. Stu Jackson is the commissioner of the West Coast Conference. He's here this weekend. So, just a very good effort to put Will on track and back in the Xfinity Series. Very talented race car driver.
My previous spotter, Stevie Reeves, and we talked about doing that, the driver spotter swap for the ARCA race at Daytona a couple years ago, and Will and Eric are getting to live that out today.
Would you be scared to spot?
I would be terrified to spot, especially at Daytona.
I don't want that responsibility. I'll stick behind the wheel. I would also just like to say,
about want to see what your sway bar front end looks like. It's all over the TV. Yeah, platform looks pretty good.
They're watching on coverage as well.
Sage Karen, someone that Pops up on the leaderboard. Seems like every time he comes and races in the Xfinity Series. Gonna call it a day.
Had good speed at Chicago and unfortunately had an engine failure in practice qualifying, and then now has had a transmission issue here at Sonoma. Had great speed yesterday for those cars. Always has great speeds. We see the 21 Austin Hill on pit road. Dylan, looks like they are taking the risk to flip the stage.
They are, and it's been a challenging weekend for them. Didn't have the car they wanted yesterday, and it's been a work in progress again today to get the balance right. Austin just said he wants more to lean on at the back of the car, mainly in the right rear. There's the chassis wrench in the window, 4 tires and fuel, Cam.
See the 19 of Riley Herbst and talked to crew chief Seth Chalker. Remember, he led the charge for Ty Gibbs last year in this race. Thought he had the best car. They did not short pit last year. Seth told me he felt like the winning strategy was short pitting, so you're seeing that here now. Riley's saying chattering the rears just slightly.
Herbst making his 3rd start of the year, top 5 in Texas, also ran Coda. Corey Day, who was caught speeding last time he tried to flip the stage, is in here in the 17. And now the question becomes, what do the 88 and the 9 do? And the answer is pit and flip the stage. And as they come in, they'll close pit road with 2 laps to go. Here's the race leader, Dylan.
And Zilich is the 2nd pit box in on pit road here, so he'll hit his marks right away. Been pretty happy with his race car. The changes they made at the end of stage 1 were positive, and Connor said the car changes directions really well. We're really close to the 9, though, so not sure what more they need, Kim.
See the 9 of SVG on the right hand of your screen. We played that radio earlier, him saying the balance was better. He just felt like the rears died out, was very concerned about his tire pressure, specifically that left rear compared to the 88. They will make a slight adjustment to get him a little bit more stability. Again, the right-handers are Shane's biggest concern, so we'll see them finish up their service right here as they take fresh tires and Sunoco fuel. Also in, we have the 41 of Sam May. Remember, he was that stage 1 winner. Again, complaining of lack of rear grip like most of the field.
Sawalich also came down, as did Nick Sanchez, a couple of rookies flipping the stage. And you saw while Kim was talking, 88 of Connor Zilich does get off the pit lane under green in front of the 9 of Shane Van Gisbergen. Not as significant, right now when you look at the running order, but it will be big when we get ready to begin that final stage and everything cycles through. Brandon Jones is on point. June was a good month to him as far as winning stages and in position to do it again. Got the veteran and reigning champ right behind him, Justin Allgaier. Sheldon Creed going to get a ton of stage points today. Took advantage last week at Chicago. Came in even with the cut line. Went to plus 30. And he's running 4th right now. So a real good opportunity for him to exit Sonoma with a great points day. The California driver. 1 to go in the stage.
Better driver. Well, I was going to say, he's been working on his road course craft for years now. And I felt like this weekend really looked like a highlight for him in terms of road course speed. Just what we saw in practice, qualifying. And it's always nice, no matter how you do it, to be in the lead of a stage.
Yeah, great pass here by Brandon into turn 4 to force the issue. And that's a big spot, too. That's a playoff point on the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you have a win, right? You just want to attack and build more of that insurance policy for the playoffs. Ended that long winless streak at Darlington. Did Brandon Jones, the driver out of Atlanta, first year back with Joe Gibbs Racing. In fact, the only team he's ever won for is JGR. Spent time, at RCR, went over to Junior Motorsports, but he has found the sweet spot driving those Toyotas for the coach, and it's been a good season for him with Sam McCauley on the box.
Yeah, super impressive run here at Sonoma. I know he's been working really hard at the road courses to try and improve his performance, and he's going to get out of here with a lot of stage points and a playoff point.
Turn 11, final time in stage 2. Brandon Jones can always find his car on track. The fluorescent number 20, 3rd stage win of the campaign, and they've all come in the last 4 races. Allgaier comes in regular seat, top 5. Creed and Quapple really needed him. We'll get pit stops when we return to Sonoma, California.